today is a big day for Ghanaian football as the Black Stars take on Chad in a crucial World Cup qualifier. And the big question is that can Ghana secure a much-needed victory and stay on track for qualification? Well, joining me for this discussion is former Black Stars maestro, Emmanuel Ajimambedu, who is over the phone lines. And also in studio with me is Eugene Oforisoti, who is a sports journalist and an analyst. And they are going to help me have this conversation. Let me start with Emmanuel Ajimambedu. Ajimambedu.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well, by His grace. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes.
What have you been up to?
For now, I'm in Ghana and I'm still in football, doing some scouting for some agents and some teams outside the country. So we're still in football. We've been around.
Right. Awesome. I mean, recently you said that your national team career has ended, but you're still interested in club football, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Yes, I said something like that because the national team have officially retired. I think I have done my best. Yeah, and the privilege to play like 78 games, 5 African Cup of Nations and 1 World Cup. I think I have done what I need to do for the nation. Of course, it's been 1.5 or 2 years. You can recall that I was with Great Olympics from 1.5 years ago, and so I was a bit active. Just that for the past 1.5 years, I have been a bit rusty because I don't have a club, although I train separately. So maybe ending of this year, if nothing don't come on board, then I'll just quit it officially and just concentrate on different things.
I see. Right, great. We're so glad to have you this morning. Eugene is also in studio. Eugene, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's good to be here. For our listeners, Ralph is my big boss.
Oh,
so once he called me, I couldn't reject the call.
Oh, Eugene, don't do that.
And a special good morning to Mr. Ajimambedu. Buongiorno, signore.
Thank you. Buongiorno, capo. Come va?
Sto bene, signore.
Charlie, I'm lost.
Parli bene italiano, eh?
Sto imparando.
Ma da dove?
Next time you have to learn Italian.
Charlie, you guys tell me right now. What are you saying?
It was just, I just greeted him. Good morning, sir.
Okay.
He said, good morning, sir.
How did you say that?
Buongiorno, signore.
Buongiorno.
Yes, signore. Then
Signore.
he also says buongiorno.
Okay.
Then he
You
says,
see, he speaks very good Italian.
oh, thank you.
No. Listen, normally, they normally say buongiorno, that good morning. Normal. But when someone says buongiorno, signore, that means he really understands good morning.
Wow. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. So he says come ba. That's like, how you doing? Then I respond,
Come back.
come ba. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's like,
Come
in French, comment ça va?
Oh,
That's
right,
like
right.
almost the same thing. And I said sto bene, like I'm doing well. Then he says, yeah, anche sto bene. He's also doing well. Yeah. So that's
Sto
it.
bene.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna forget. Charlie, great to have you guys here this morning. I'm so glad. Now we have a big match ahead of us today. How important is this particular qualification for Ghana? Let me start with Eugene.
I think it's very important for us as a footballing nation. 4-time AFCON winners. With our football has been on a downward spiral for the last few years. We missed the World Cup in 2018. Then from 2019, our AFCON our performances began to dip. So we began to experience the downward spiral from 2019. We were always in the semi-final from 2008 to 2017. Then from 19, round of 16, 21, group stage, 23, another 24, another group stage, and we're not qualifying.
Yeah.
But in between, we also qualified for the World Cup. Qualifying for the World Cup means you are among the biggest nations in world football.
Right.
And I think that it's quite huge for Ghana football if we are able to qualify for the World Cup. And I think pretty much in the World Cup qualifiers we are doing very well. If we are able to win this game, then it almost cements our place. We also need to put in perspective that now FIFA has increased the number of teams that are going to be participating. And so for Africa, now our automatic slots are now 9.
How many was it initially?
Initially, our slots were around 5.
Oh, okay.
But now we have 9 automatic slots.
Right.
And so we have about 9 groups. Each team that wins the group after 10 games automatically qualifies.
Oh, okay.
However, it's a second place team in each of the groups that will play a playoff. And then after the playoffs, then the winner of those playoffs will now go and play in what we call an intercontinental playoff with the winner of another playoff, another continent, which is too complicated. For lack of a better word, or to use a street, it's too long. It's too Herculean a task, and it's too laborious for us. So it's important that we qualify automatically through the first spot by placing first in the group. Now we are second. So if you check the CAF playoff table, Ghana is part of the teams on the playoff table. So if we don't win our games and we don't top the group, we are going to go through that playoff route, which is too complicated. And if you look at the rankings of the other groups, the big boys, which Ghana claims to be one of them, are leading their groups. Egypt is leading its table. Cameroon is leading. So Ghana has to also lead in its group. Then we say the big boys. Tunisia is leading the group. All the continental champions and the big boys in Africa, except Nigeria, who are almost last in their group, the other big boys are leading. And so we need to also win our game tonight and also top the table. Because I think what helped us was yesterday, Comoros lost their game, which was shocking, to Mali by 3-0.
3 goals.
So initially, Comoros was in fact first. But then Madagascar played 2 days ago and won their match, and Madagascar went to top the table. Now Ghana and Comoros have the same points, but goal difference that separates us. They were leading us, but by losing by 3-0 yesterday, they've dropped to third. Ghana is now second. So if Ghana wins tonight, Ghana tops the table. So to ensure this game is a very important game for the Black Stars in order to top the table.
Right. So if Ghana wins tonight, we are going to qualify, isn't it? What happens when we draw or lose?
When we draw or lose, it complicates things. If we draw or we lose, it will complicate things. Then it makes our chances of qualification very difficult, because then it means that it's not in our hands anymore. It's more, we'll have to do those calculations again. Now Mali has to lose, Comoros has to lose, Madagascar has to, so draw.
Have to be praying
it's to make it simple for us. We need to win this game and win with a very convincing goal difference, maybe 3 goals plus, 4 goals plus. Then it puts us in a very comfortable lead heading to the other fixture against Madagascar. We'll play Madagascar also on Monday. So winning is a very important part of the process to qualify for next year's World Cup.
I see. Now, let me bring Ajiman Bedu into the conversation. Now, Ajiman Bedu, you have been with the team before. Given our recent performances, how much pressure do you think is on the team?
Well, thank you once again. And I don't think they have to put pressure on themselves. Although my brother have given all the analysis in our group, but I don't think they have to put pressure on themselves. They know what they can do. We trust them. Like how he said, for the past 3 years, I think we've been a bit of turbulences. But it's a new year. It's a new thing. The FA have done some strategic ways to position some people like Stephen Appiah to be like intermediary between the FA, the coach, and the players, which was very strategic. Wow. So with Stephen like this, I think he will be able to speak to the guys. You could see the euphoria of the camp have really changed. You see, Asamoah was there, Stephen himself, Tony Bafo. Even yesterday, the PFA, we went there to their camp and have dinner with them, and speak to them. So there's a lot, and they are very calm. We have spoken to a lot of the players, and they are ready. Listen, it's hard we are playing. In as much football has changed, everything can happen. If you don't work very well, maybe things must elude you. But it's hard. I understand football has changed, but my brother, the kind of quality we have, if you put a bit of effort in this game, I don't think they will be able to stand us. And I can promise that by 9 p.m. today, Ghana will get 12 points. You see, Mali is doing different stuff that they're coming back. I think after changing their coach and brought in a new coach, he have revived their team. Because when they started the qualifiers, Mali was not doing very well. Now they changed the coach. They brought the coach who was at Zambia. I forgot the name a bit. He was with Gambia. Now he's doing so well.
Tom Seinfeld.
Exactly. Now, exactly. His first game, 3-0 away, everybody was afraid of Comoros. So if you are in a group like this and teams are reviving, and you don't take advantage of the home game you are coming to play against a Chad who haven't won a game in the group, four games, 0 points, and you put pressure on yourself to go and maybe play draw or lose this game, then business going to the World Cup will be very difficult for you. But for what I have seen, I'm very optimistic that we will take the 3 points, and the mentality and the body language of the players will change today.
Awesome. And I'm curious, why haven't you been in the camp? I mean, I've seen Asamoah Gyan, you also alluded to that fast. I've seen Stephen Appiah. I haven't seen you there, or you are too busy.
It's true. You brought some scouts to Ghana and we were doing some scouting. However, if we are not there, we have the privilege to be talking to you on your big platform like this to encourage them and to try to lure some of the supporters to go to the stadium to help. So that, because always the number 12 is very important, and the number 12 is always being the supporters. So I couldn't be there, but we also have been doing some underground good job for them as well. And they know they have our support, and we will be there for them. And today, by His grace, I will be at the stadium. I will go early, around like 5, to avoid any traffic or to enjoy the game. So we will be there.
Awesome. Now, you have spoken about Otto Addo in recent times. I want to know, if Ghana fails to win tonight, what would that mean for Otto Addo's future as a coach?
Well, first, I don't want to believe that you will fail to lose to win. Although football, there's a lot of uncertainties, things can happen. But I can't believe after 90 minutes, after 9 p.m., then it's a draw against Chad. A country that everybody has been beating them. So I don't want to preempt that, okay, this is going to happen. But listen, I like him in one thing. He never shies away when he makes mistakes.
Right.
When you see his interviews, you could see he will tell you, okay, I made mistake here. He brought in reports. The FA went through the reports and thought, okay, let's do some petty changes in his technical side. Maybe that is what he wants. They have done that for him. He have made mistake in the past. For the past 2 years, they've been here. So for now, he knows the terrain very well, and I don't think it will be a problem for him. It's the same as the players. Most of them don't come from here. If I say they don't come from here, maybe they were born in Europe. Some left here when they were very young. So coming from a terrain to different terrain that you don't know the culture, socialization, the demand of our supporters, and even the infrastructure when it comes to the stadiums. It takes a bit of time to understand what is going on.
Right.
But for now, I think they've been here for 1 or 2 years, and they know the terrain, they know the demand and everything. You will see a different Blasters today. So in as much, maybe Otto for not qualifiers to the African Cup of Nations, everybody is disappointed, and he himself has said it that he is disappointed. I think he has learned, and he will approach this game seriously and try and convince the supporters and win the game for the nation.
Right. We hope so. Now let's try and assess the strengths and weaknesses of the team going into this match. Specifically, maybe the squad. What are our strengths and our weaknesses ahead of this match, Eugene?
So I think that in this game, our strength, we have players who are on top form. So if you check in Europe, which is where the best players in the world are perceived to play, a lot of our players are in good form. Antoine Semenyo is in good form. For me, the player who is in excellent form is Ernest Nuama, who plays for Olympique Lyon in France.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, Nuama was struggling with injuries and other issues, and at the point, there was almost a situation where there was a conversation about him moving from Lyon, he being sold, because they also had their own financial situations. But from February till now, he's been on top form. I think over the last 3 weeks to 1 month, every game he scores a goal or provides an assist. And I think even over the period, I think their last match he scored a brace. So Nuama is in good form, excellent form. Iñaki Williams as well. He endured like an over 10-game goal scoring drought, but I think from there he has scored about 2 goals also. I think our problem then is in the midfield. I think that's where my challenge really is, because our established midfielders are not around. So Majida Shimero is not around. Baba Idrisu is injured. Ibrahim Suleimana, who burst onto the scene recently, who has been a good player, the pivot in our team, also is injured. But the good news is Thomas Partey is back as well. But then the question becomes, will we play Partey as a lone player, or do we play him in a double pivot, or do we bring Kudus back? It's a whole thing we could...
Maybe I should ask Ajimambedu. He's been a midfielder before.
Yeah.
Maestro, what do you think we should do in the midfield?
Well, I think for the past some years now, we lack a proper box-to-box, like proper number 8, as you all say it in Ghana here, or maybe some countries. It's a very sensitive position, and you can, my brother can attest to it, that when you are number 8, you need to do a lot of work, and we all know the kind of work Mike Essien was in. You see, you need somebody who can be like Mike Essien, Lampard, Steven Gerrard's style of play. He can set forward, always on the edge of the opponent box. He can run back and defend and help the number 6, as we used to call it here. So we lack that. Asimero was the one who was able to do it once a while, drive the ball forward, have some long range shoots and stuff like that. For now, we lack a bit of proper box-to-box midfielder. However, there are some kind of players they were doing that. As Suleimana, he mentioned, he was gradually getting into the team, and unfortunately, he got his injury. The problem we are having in the midfield is, every game we played, we have different players who are playing there. Yeah. And having the sensitive position like the 6 and 8, and every blessed game you need to change it because of injuries or some of the players didn't come, is always have a problem in the team, or the impact with the team is not good. Listen, Partey is one of the best passers of the ball when it comes to a midfield play. I want to use him as a pivot because he always want to have space. Number 8 is a bit of limited place because there's a lot of crowded players, which Thomas doesn't like that. So when you play him in pivot and he can see everywhere, he can give some great passes. The coach is full of surprises. I don't know who he's going to partner with Thomas today. As my brother said, Suleimana is not there. Maybe because we are playing at home and it's hard, he might deploy a different strategy that is maybe he will allow Oli Partey to say, and just put all our guns in. He can put, maybe Suleimana has been very fantastic as well as Southampton. Niema, like he said, has been very fantastic. Inaki himself and Jordan. So I don't know the kind of formation he will go, but I think maybe he will put all the guns inside because we are playing a team that might do a lot of defending. So for now, let's wait and see how he will come out with the selection. But I think we lack a proper box-to-box. That's why in the midfield we are struggling. And the kind of injuries we are having, that every blessed game we need to change the players in the middle. Because you can, if you recall in our time, I played with Rabi Mohammed from the under-17, under-20.
Yeah. Throughout
to the Blasters. At times I play with Antonin, and those have well-experienced players and they communicate a lot. I play with Mike. Mike Essien will tell you, Rajmai, if you want to go forward, just talk to me. That's okay. I should stay for you. Okay. So you need people that will communicate a lot in the game as well. Yeah, so that is very important. But I think we will be good to go. Whoever the coach tries that he needs to use in this game.
Right, but I think we're trying to build a team, but we have a challenge, as you alluded to, that we don't have a stable midfield. How does that affect the team we're trying to build?
It affects it a lot because we have the history that our strongest in the national team is our midfield. And you can recall from the back, from the likes of Mike Essien and Tunianan partnership with Lai Kingston and Sule Muntari on the flanks in a certain aspect. And the day that you came in and Kwadwo Samuel behind Asamoah Gyan, at times Jordan will be played behind him. I play with Mike, I play with Sule in the midfield. So you could see there was a lot of cohesion because Mike and and Tony has played from 2008. So when we came there and some of the games, maybe I also get opportunity to play. It's the same thing Mike has played with Sule Montari from onset, from under 20. So they have a lot of connection. And now we don't have a lot of connection because imagine that you have a World Cup qualifiers and you have 12 injuries in camp. You have really destabilized a bit of the coach's plans.
That's true.
But you can't do anything about it. Just that whoever it will come in, he has to be smart. Thomas has to be very smart, and he has to carry the team. Because as a pivot, you see everywhere, and Jiku have to be commanding from the back. Then Thomas will take control of the midfield and try to speak to them, try to talk to them and tell them how to position themselves. Because that really helped me when I was in the national team. Mike Lesian was doing that to me, and Tonyana was doing that to me. Even that the 20, Mohammed was doing the same thing to me. He commands me, he speaks to me to position myself very well, and he tells me to drive forward. So in as much that we have lost some players, I think a bit of communication from Thomas will be a key in our game.
Awesome. Let me come back to Eugene. Eugene, you were telling us the strengths and weaknesses of the team ahead of the match. Tell us. I'm not sure you finished.
Yeah. So once Ajimambedu has sorted out the midfield, I think it makes absolute sense. So Partey as the pivot, I think it solves the issue. However, then my next concern will be. As for the defensive role, I think it's going to be dicey for Otuado because Razak Simpson, the Nations FC, is a local player, but when he got the chance, he absolutely killed it.
That guy did
really well in the last 2 games. I think saved a few lapses. It was brilliant. Over 10, I'll give him like an 8.
Wow.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
So now Salisu is back.
But sorry, do you think coming back with Salisu and Jiku, the Nation FC guy will have a chance in the game?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to now. And then it's important because now when you go to the right back slot, Alidu is injured. Seydou Alidu is injured. The Ren player is injured. Now Tariq Lamptey, who was also our fullback, is also injured.
Yeah.
And now the only player maybe is Kingsley Schindler. So do we put Simpson at right back or we go with Schindler? Because defensively, Schindler isn't he's a great defender. Yeah. Especially in 1v1 situations.
Don't you think Otto, in a lot of surprises, can go 3-back?
3-back, okay. But a 3-back against Chad.
Yes, would that help the team?
It depends on the approach of the opponent and how the coach wants to approach the game. You can have 3-back and have wide wingers, like putting Myanmar at one side and putting a Cameroon at one side because of the kind of speed and 1v1 they are good at. So it all depends on what he thinks about the opponent. So let's see. He's full of surprises. Can go 3-back, 4-back, but let my brother come in again.
That sorts it out. Well, from yesterday the press conference, Otuado was speaking about the fact that Chad is not traditionally a top team, but he expects a difficult thing. And I think in his approach, he spoke about the fact that Ghana would hold a lot of the ball, so Ghana will possess a lot more.
Right.
And he spoke about the fact that he expects Chad to defend a lot more. So we have to expect a Chad team that will sit back and relax to pounce on the counter.
Yeah.
That's what I see. So I think my challenge and the question I would like to pose to Ajimambedu is that if you check the goals he considered against Mali, and especially the goals he considered against Central African Republic, there were a lot from the counter-attacking situations. And unfortunately, Salisu and Juku were not able to manage those situations very well. And I think there was even a blunder between Gideon Mensah and then the goalkeeper, Atizigi, which created situations. Otuado has explained to us that we are going to go all guns blazing. He has also let us know that Chad are going to be defending, which means we should expect them to come on the counter. Looking at the way our defenders are quite shaky based on their previous performances in the World Cup qualifiers, how do we map up a strategy just in case the Chad catches us on the break?
Okay, I think you are very right. We've been experiencing some counter-attacks with especially balls behind our defenders. Yeah. Because most of the things I've seen that our defenders are not too much of when it comes to speed. They are not there. Just that they are experienced and 1v1 they are very good. By balls behind, they always struggle. So most of the countries have really realized that and they are using it very well, especially when we played against Central African Republic. They did a lot on ball behind and we struggled a bit. However, in the national team games, mostly when we are playing with minnows like this, like Chad, other teams, they first fear the name. Then he will come and relax, sit back, and see the kind of game you will play. If after 25, 30 minutes he thinks, okay, oh, this is the Blasters, so I've been spoken about them, and it's just a normal game they are playing, then they will start coming after you. That is why I always say you need to put an effort in the first 25, 30 minutes and put 2 or 3 goals in their net. Look what happened, what we did against Egypt in Kumasi. 35 minutes, 3 goals in their post. So you can relax, enjoy the game, and try to entertain the supporters. That is why always you can lure supporters to the stadium. So I'm expecting, in as much we are holding the ball, also want us to play good football, we need to score early so that we can put some pressure on them and they will open up and come so that we can get a lot of spaces to score a lot of goals. But if you relax and after 25 minutes and you think, okay, I can go after them and play with them, then that is where the things start getting difficult. So if you could recall and watch all our games, all the teams try to relax, block the second point of our attacks, and try to get us on counter-attack. However, after watching that a bit and see, okay, we can play with them, then they start opening up, and that's where we also get problems. So I'm urging that this game, hard as my brother said, they will not come first 20 or 30 minutes to come and push pressure on us. They will try to defend. But we have to unlock their defense and put pressure on them and win the balls in their half so that you can have 2-3 passes, then transitions, then you'll be in their box. Because if you allow them and get the ball at your defensive line, now we are going to do a lot of possession. They will block the second, they will have a second block and a third block. It will be very difficult for you. But when you put pressure on them and get the ball in their half, 2 transitions, you will be in their box. So this is the approach that we need to go in the game today.
I see. Now, there's this particular player, Kamaldeen Suleiman.
Yeah.
The chap is very good. He has good speed. He's a good dribbler, but he struggles when he comes to the national team. How do we unlock his potential?
In as much that have to know how to play with his colleagues and know their strengths. The coach is working with, I work with him at Hellas Verona, Ulrich. He loves wingers who are sharp and good at 1v1. That is his style of play. And he has really managed the guy very well. Since coming back from injury, he has been very fantastic for the club. And at times here, he exaggerates the ball a bit, where he needs to go 1v1, then he just wants to entertain the crowd. But when you have 2 or 3 goals, you can start entertaining the crowd. That's not a problem. In our time, we will tell us, Jan, please stay. We will bring the ball. After scoring, come in the middle and enjoy the game.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is what I'm expecting from him. He has the speed. He's good at 1v1. But there are some places that he needs to release the ball. 1, 2, 3. There are some places you can hold the ball. That is why at times Kudus have a very good game. He at times also hold the ball some position is no good, but I think he's learning. In as much this year for the 10th games he have not been scoring, he has been doing very well, playing actively. So the game lies in the hands of Mohamed Kudus, Kamaldeen. If he's starting the game, I don't know. Myanmar, he's in great form. Maybe he might start the game. And Semenyo, I think this our game lies in the hands of this players. Plus, Partey taking control of the midfield because Jordan do a lot of running, going forward and coming to attack. So Kamaldeen is a plus, but there are some positions he needs to release the ball early so that you can have a very quick transition of passes.
Right. Well, now let's talk about the goalkeeping. Now, there's a lot of competition there now because we have Atizigi, we have Wolacott, and now Benjamin Asari. What do you think? I mean, which of them do you think should start today's game?
In as much, maybe Wolacott have not been in the post for a long time. He got injured, went back, played 1 or 2 games, got injured again. So our sure bet was at Tige for a couple of games. He did so well in some games. He at times makes some mistakes, which is normal in football for everybody. Asare, I was with him at Olympics, so I know the kind of goalkeeper he is. Very well experienced. House of Folk, we have seen what he's been doing. Wonderful goalkeeping. Communication, he's one of the best when it comes to communication. He communicates a lot. He has confidence. His both legs work really well. He's not a goalkeeper. He panics when he comes to the ball. So we have one goalkeeper who is not yet tested, although we have seen in the Chan games and we've seen House of Folk. If the coach goes for him, I will be happy for him. He might, because maybe we are playing the game in Accra, he plays for House of Folk. So there's this petty, chance for him. We have seen that he's good for a long time. But there are some coaches too. He have a trusted goalkeeper. He haven't worked with this goalkeeper before. He just worked with him for 3 or 4 days, although he has seen him in his club side. He don't want to risk a lot to change the goalkeeper. So if he got a nod, I'll be happy for him. He will do well. But if that doesn't get a nod, I won't be surprised if Thier will go for a Tigre. It's unfortunate that the goalkeeper who did very well in Angola got injured. I think he was gradually picking up the first spot, but unfortunately he got injured. So Asari and Atizi, whoever he will go for today, you will be okay with it. At least we are not playing Brazil, it's Chad. So even if Asari got the nod, it won't be a problem. But not working with him for a long time, I don't know if he will go after him. But I'll be happy for him if he goes after him.
Right. We have some few minutes to go. Maybe I should ask you, what formation and playing style should we adopt today?
The coach at times go for 4-2-2. One things are very difficult, as we have seen some previous games that we played that he brought in Inaki to partner with them. At first he started with one top because he thinks we have the strong wingers who can always penetrate and score a lot of goals. For today, if he's not going for three back, obviously he'll go for 4 back. So I expect that he can go for, let me say, 4-1-3-1. 4-1-3-1 to the extent that 4 at the back, 1 pivot, 3 offensive midfielders, and maybe a lone striker. If not that, then you go for a normal formation. Everybody does 4-2-2, direct 4-2-2. So I'm expecting that you will go one of this.
Now, but I also want to know, maybe just before we go, do you think we have enough attacking firepower to win this match convincingly?
My brother, we will win the game, whatever it is. The game will be won today.
Right.
Just that I don't know the scoreline you will get. I want us to score early, try to entertain the supporters. It's very important because for the past 2 years, the supporters have cried, but they still support the team wherever they go. So they want to see good goals and good football and passing and strong mentality. That is all the Ghanaians are asking for. And I will tell you that the guys are ready. Those we have spoken to, the body language I have seen these 3 days that they are here, they are very ready for the game. So we have the power.
Right.
Listen, in as much Kudus is not scoring, he's a potential that at any given time he can score.
Yeah.
Jordan Ayew is the same thing. Semenyo the same. Inaki, Niama, Kamadin. Even Patin himself, who at times we use as pivot, at times search forward and score. Then there's 3 components in football, very key. An open play scoring, set pieces, and individual brilliance. So if we are struggling with an open play because they have blocked and defending very well, then we take advantage and like set pieces, like what Jordan did in Angola, what he did for in the World Cup, the free kick he gave to, I think our game against Korea or something. So you rely on the set pieces. If both is not working, then you have the individual blend. And on the team, we have a lot of individual blend players that at any day they can change the game. So it won't be too difficult for us to beat Chad today, although football has changed. But I'm optimistic that after 9 p.m. we will be first on the group.
We'll be first in the group. Awesome. Now, maybe my final question. Jordan is our top goal scorer. and he now captains the team. You have played with him before. What kind of leadership should Ghanaians expect from Jordan?
Well, he have tested a lot of captains in the team before now being the captain. Fortunately for him, his brother has been the captain since under 20, and he got a chance to captain the Blasters. Blasters is more like under 20 or under 17 that, you've been straight to the boys. There's a bit of big man,
Yeah.
big man. So talking to them, you know how to vibe with them. You need to be very clear and open on them. And like I said, he's well experienced. He's been in the national team for 14 solid years. So he knows everything in the national team. How he needs to approach the games, how he needs to speak to the guys, how he needs to get them to work for you. You don't need to work alone. You need to get them to work for you. He needs to have a very strong backing. And that will depend on how he relates with them. As I said, he's well experienced, and I know he can do that. Speak to them, spar with them, work hard. If you are the one working out on the field and they see that the captain is running, going here up and down, I don't think some of the players will be working on the field. At that time, when you see Stephen Appiah running, sliding, and you look at his face, you won't be able to stand there and be watching that. Okay, the big man is running, and you, a mere footballer, let me use the word because he's the captain.
Yeah.
Just walking. So he will bring experience, and he's calm. He is very strong mentally. That guy is very, very strong mentally.
Wow.
And he has been committed to the national team. As any time, if he's not injured, every call-up has been in the national team.
Yeah,
so I'm hoping that he will start very well today and get the boys to work for him.
Awesome. Ajman, thank you very much. Maybe your final prediction ahead of the game. What was the score's prediction you give?
I'm expecting, not to put pressure on them, but I'm expecting like 3 goals upwards.
Say that again, sorry.
I'm not to put pressure on them, but I'm expecting that we can win like 3 goals upwards.
3 goals. Okay. All right. Ajman, thank you very much. I've learned something right now. Maybe I should try it. Grazie mille.
Grazie mille.
Grazie mille.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for your time. We are so grateful. I'll close
Grazie
with
mille.
What was that? What do you say?
You will tell you. Grazie mille.
Grazie mille. Okay. All right. So we'll stay in touch. Thank you.
All right. Have a lovely day.
You do same, say. Well, that was Ajman Bedu, ex-Ghanaian, ex-Blasters player, and he was sharing his thoughts on the Black Stars ahead of today's match. Now, let me come and close with you, Eugene, in studio. Eugene, what will be your final score prediction?
For some reason, I've abstained from doing that. But I've spoken to a lot of big people for lack of. I spoke to the chairman of the sports committee. I spoke to a member of parliament who is a member of the sports committee, and everybody's talking about 5-0.
Vincent?
Yeah, I spoke to Vincent. Yeah. He's the ranking member. Yeah, and then I spoke to the chairman. The chairman is Honorable Ernest Nogbe. Yeah, he's from Ashaman. Yeah. And he says his constituent Thomas Partey, he is likely to score a goal. Everyone and their interest. Exactly. So he says he wishes his constituent well, and he scores a goal. Others are speaking about 5-0. A lot of people I meet speak about 5-0.
It means expectations are high.
Very high, because Chad throughout this qualifiers have not won any match, and so generally the expectation is that after 4 matches, they've played almost every other team and they've not won a match. And so if they are playing against Ghana, then the expectation is that Ghana should also walk over them. I'm very cautious. I think I want the game to start before, but I think at least 2-0 will be okay. And I want to see an improved performance from a player like Mohamed Kudus. It's been over a year since Mohamed Kudus scored for the Black Stars. The last time he scored for Ghana was in the AFCON last year in the Ivory Coast. In that really? 2-2 draw against Egypt. He scored the 2 goals for us. And after that match, that has been the end in terms of goals for Mohamed Kudus. And in fact, at his club level as well, he's gone on almost an 11-game goal drought. So goal scoring has been a bit of a challenge for him. this season and all over the past few months, and for the large extent a year for the national team as well. So I want to see an improved performance from him. I want to see him get a bit more of the ball, and maybe when he needs to pass, he should do the passing. We want to see a lot of dominance from the team. I want to see also Nyama take on players and do magic. I also want to see, I really would love to see what Kamaldeen has to offer, because I see Kamaldeen as a player who thrives against teams that open up and play. I don't know how he will survive against a team that traditionally defends, because then that means his speed and other things would be limited within a very small pocket of space, you know. So it's a lot of expectations, not for result, but for me, from the individual perspective. I also want to see what Iñaki Williams has to offer, because he I don't know if it's the language barrier, but a lot of the time he doesn't get the service he deserves, especially if you watch from the pitch. He does some off-the-ball movements and he doesn't get the ball right where he wants the ball to be. And so unfortunately, the few chances that he gets to, sometimes he fluffs his line as well. Jordan Ayew has led the line very well. 4 goals in the World Cup qualifiers, including a hat-trick as well. And so we expect that I hope he's put in the number 9 role. He shouldn't be moved around as a roving forward. He should stay up top as a number 9, and when they provide him the service, he also delivers. So overall, I expect a dominant Black Stars. I don't want to see a shaky Black Stars. I want to see a dominant Black Stars that will take charge of the game right from the onset, score very early to calm the nerves down, and then from there they should do very. So I think at least 2-0 and an improved performance from the Black Stars in terms of individual performances.
Right. Okay, I expect 2-1. I don't know why I expect 2-1, but yes, I expect 2-1. But those are just my predictions. Eugene, thank you very much for your time. I'm grateful. Well, Eugene Ofori-Soti is a sports journalist and a sports analyst. He's a top guy. And we also spoke to Ajiman Bedu. What a fantastic discussion we've had. We've broken down Ghana's chances, analyzed the team's strengths and weaknesses, and also explored the tactical approach needed to secure a win against Chad. And with qualification on the line, this match is more than just another game. It's a defining moment for the Black Stars. A huge thank you to our guests for their expert insights. Ajiman Bedu, who is an ex-Black Stars player, and Eugene Ofori-Soti, who is a sports journalist and